The Zabelin, the Egyptian forgotten community made up of Coptic Christians, a minority group making up 10% of Egypt's population, who for decades have served as the Egyptian capital's unofficial rubbish collectors, providing a vital service which was never formally acknowledged by Hosni Mubarak's government. Every day, before dawn, an army of ragged Zabelin men and boys set out in pickup trucks and creaking donkey carts to collect the piles of refuse that spew daily onto the streets of Cairo. When their vehicles and carts are piled high, the rubbish collectors, known in Arabic as Zabelin, head for home, where their wives and daughters sit down to sift out paper, glass, plastic, rags and other materials that can be recycled.
We were able to form this syndicate over the past 2 weeks, and I have noticed that this event was very popular among the 120,000 rubbish collectors, to the extent that within a few days, God willing, we're expecting to have from 6,000 to 7,000 members in the syndicate over the next few days.
This syndicate will be the body that defends our rights, our existence, and also lets the country know that we are prepared to provide better services, to collect, transfer and recycle rubbish.
The Ard Aliwa garbage dump in Cairo is one of the largest in Egypt, receiving around 150 tons of refuse every day. The site is owned by Israel Ayed Gadis, known locally as the Sheikh of the Zabelin. An enterprising man, Gadis has divided the dump into parcels, which he rents out to Zabelin families and workers for £400 Egyptian a month.
The governors are aware of these people, but they don't know how to organize them. I met with the governors and attempted to organize them. I told them that a garbage man works on 1,000 apartments, so take his identification details and give him alliances to service these 1,000 apartments, then 1,000 apartments for another, moving from one neighborhood to other. But the government should license one person, 30,000 apartments to service.
The Zabelin recycle an estimated 80% of the rubbish they harvest, an accomplishment that puts Western countries to shame. Environmentalists in the Zabelin argue that rubbish disposal is a low priority in Cairo. In a city of 17 million people, the capital's teeming neighborhoods produce more than 8 million tons of garbage, but can collect and dispose of less than 3/4.
Companies were founded for rubbish collectors pending contracts from the state. They have licensed workshops, but the state always takes indirect decisions, regardless of whether we exist or not, as if they don't acknowledge us.
It won't work, it won't do, because many of us have at least 5 or 6 children. It won't be enough for us. This is where we make our living. The Zabelin are Cairo's unsung heroes in an endless battle to keep one of the great North African cities from being swallowed by a relentless tide of garbage. The Zabelin remain an underclass despite having triumphed against the odds in carving out a role for themselves. Only now have they begun touching the edge of becoming full members of society.